Hi, and welcome to Talking Scooters with Jeremy from Scooter Magazine, brought to you by scootersales.com.au. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're looking at Honda's revolutionary new PCX 125. It's a scooter designed as a commuter and a fun scooter, but it has one very interesting option that we'll talk about soon. Before we look at the unique point about this scooter, let's just put it into perspective. Priced at $39.99, it's at the top end of the commuter market, but there are sufficient features around it, I think, to justify that price. At 125cc's, it falls under all of the licensing categories except for the car driving states of Western Australia, Queensland, Northern Territory and South Australia. You will need a special scooter licence to ride this thing. Now let's look at it in detail. Okay, let's start with the defining feature of this scooter. It's Honda's idle stop technology. It might not sound like much, but what it is designed to do is when the scooter is at a set of traffic lights or a stop sign or wherever it comes to a stop in traffic, after 3 seconds the engine stalls, it cuts out. A little bit unnerving at first until you realise that it's just a twist of the throttle to get it started again. The reason for the idling stop is to allow Honda to give this scooter phenomenal fuel economy. As you can imagine, the fuel savings would be considerable. Wonderful thing for the environment. This is the first scooter on the Australian market with the idle stop technology, and it works extraordinarily well. In a nutshell, once the engine is warm, it won't work until it's warmed up to temperature, and the scooter has reached 10 kilometres an hour, then within 3 seconds of stopping, the engine will cut out. All you have to do to go again is twist the throttle, the engine will start instantly. There is no starter motor in this scooter. Instead, Honda's been very clever and they've used the generator, which under normal running circumstances spins up, creates current that runs the scooter, powers the headlight, all that kind of thing, charges the battery. With the idle stop system, twisting the throttle sends an electrical current to the generator which spins it fast enough to start the engine. It's much quicker than a conventional starter motor, and it places less strain on componentry, so it will last for a long time. It's a very, very clever, very, very good idea. Let's have a quick run through of the controls. As you can see, there's a tubular handlebar instead of the normal nacelle covered normal scooter setup. Might not seem like much, but what it allows you to do is to adjust the angle of the handlebars. You can move the twist grips back and forward a little bit, or if you're really interested, you could swap the handlebars for a different bend altogether, which would give you a different riding position. Personal preference, but because it's a tubular bar, very easy, very cheap modification. Switchgear, absolutely bog standard, apart from the idle stop switch, which we've mentioned. Then we get to the ignition switch. This has a key lock security cover, which is relatively easy to put on. It's unlocked with the ignition key. There's a special moulding that you just twist. It goes in ignition key, normal. The fuel cap lock and the seat lock, handy little toggle button there. So switch to off, press the fuel button, fuel opens. Simple, neat, easy, very Honda, very good. When you look at the scooter, you'll see little signs like Combi Brake. What exactly does that mean? One of Honda's technological initiatives across their motorcycle and scooter range is a linked braking system. Generally, you have one brake for the front wheel, one brake for the rear wheel, which you can manipulate as a rider at will. These days, a lot of companies are looking at alternative braking systems, ABS, all sorts of things. Honda's come up with a system whereby if you use the front brake, it operates the front wheel. So you have complete control over that. With the rear brake, it'll brake the rear wheel as well as have partial braking on the front. It gives it a more balanced, better feel, better stopping in most circumstances. It's a PCX, as you'll see, uses 14-inch rims, front and rear, relatively narrow, but that gives nice light steering, very predictable, and the 14-inch rim rides over bumps, potholes, surface irregularities very, very well. So all in all, it's a nice balance between diameter and width and rubber choice. But we all know that one of the best things about scooters is storage. You can put your helmet under the seat, your jacket under the seat, all that kind of thing. That goes without saying. You know all of that, so let's look at the PCX. There's a handy little glove box. It's not lockable. It is waterproof though. It's easily opened when you're riding, and one of the best things about it is that it's relatively large, so even I can get my big fat hands in there to get whatever I want. Sunglasses, toll pass, wallet, phone, notebook and pen to write down all my testing notes. Nice little addition. Like I say, it's not lockable, but it is waterproof and it's easy to use. Then we get to the crux of the biscuit, which is the under-seat storage. This can make or break scooters for a lot of people, so let's have a look. Okay, so seat opens nicely, stays up by itself. Plenty of room for a helmet, full face or open face, which is good. There's also a toolkit, which is, as is the case with most of these things, fairly minimal. This particular PCX comes with the aftermarket top box and rack. It's branded Honda, manufactured by Givi in Italy, company with a long reputation for making motorcycle and scooter luggage. One of the issues with it is that it requires a separate key. Now, some scooters are keyed alike, so the ignition key will operate the luggage. This one requires a separate key. Small detail, but one to be aware of. It opens very easily, relatively securely mounted. A little bit of flex, but it's ABS plastic, so that's no issue. Probably a good thing to be a bit flexible. One thing we did notice is that when you come to close it, didn't work that time. Sometimes the key is a little bit sticky. To get it off, open it with the key, push the button, off she comes. Has an integral handle, so very easy to take into the hotel, take to work, whatever you need to do. It mounts just as easily. Two little prongs slide into the rack, and there we go, safe and sound. So good addition. Just make sure the keys work properly when you buy one from your local Honda dealer. Honda's done a good job in making sure pillions are relatively well looked after. The seat might not look too broad, but it's well padded, it's comfortable, it's well shaped, and importantly they have a flip out pillion peg, which not only gives a better sense of security, it also moves their feet away from your feet. Now, when I ride, I tend to move my feet around like I'm dancing the fandango, so anything that gets the pillion's feet out of the way of mine is a good thing. The other thing that is very neat is there is an integrated grab handle in this body moulding here, so there are lots of places for pillions to hang on to, feel secure. If you have the top box, you might want to work out some kind of padding to go on there, because that's a fairly sharp edge that'll dig into your pillion's back, but minor point, a little bit of foam from a hardware shop will fix that. There you have it. That's the accommodation on Honda's PCX. Now we'll look at the engine. Now we come to the guts of the matter. Honda's engine. Liquid cooled 125cc with fuel injection, and a very clever fuel injection system it is. The engine's smooth, it's powerful, probably a class leader in the 125 stakes. That's just a seat of the pants feeling, but the name on the engine, Honda, probably sums it up. They build good engines, they build strong engines, they build fast engines. It's a pleasure to ride. In terms of performance, excellent scooter. Finally, one of the things that Honda is very proud of with this model is the range of accessories. Motorcycles have had accessories forever, scooters not so much. Because the scooter is made in Thailand, Honda Australia and Honda Worldwide has access to a lot of accessories that are very cost effective. This particular scooter has a tribal tattoo sticker kit. It has running boards with the PCX logo embossed. It has the European made top box and rack, but there is an extensive list of other accessories, both to bling it up, some to make it work better. You'll see them all at your Honda dealer. They'll be able to tell you the complete range. Some of the accessories include wood grain body panels, carbon fibre look body panels, all sorts of stuff to pretty the scooter up, to individualise it, to turn Honda's PCX into your PCX. To finish with, the Honda's PCX, it's a clever scooter, very green, very economical, plenty of performance, plenty of storage. At $39.90, it's a long-term investment in your commuting future. We like it very much, and we don't want to give it back.